salutations. Welcome to the Miracle Mile Podcast. This is Mario Fiallos here, joining us a second time. First person joining us for a second time, Jeremiah Suoicsnocnu. Say hi, homie.
What's going on, everybody?
All right, so we decided to have the homie back on because we have a little more to talk about in this regard, especially because he has something coming on along the way, which is a pretty unique event, I'd have to say. I want to go ahead and give that promotion, but honestly, you could probably express it better than I could. So what we got going on? What was it called? New what?
So the name of the art show
Noi.
is called Noi Tai Puk.
Noi Tai Puk.
Yeah.
Yo, cracked out. All right. And what is this about? What's going on? What do I, as a consumer, walk into when I go to Noi Tai Puk?
So the Noi Tai Puk experience is going to be an interactive art show where basically it shows the collaborative efforts of me and my buddy George Robeo.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what we're going for is a public display of our work, as well as giving the people something to have fun with, you know? So we're going to be setting up a photo booth, and I'm trying to see if I can dabble in other forms of interactive artwork, hopefully like physical pieces of artwork that people can mess with. But again, these are just ideas right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hopefully going to be something that can create exposure for both of us.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
I feel like as you know, I'm very sure you're well aware of it. Videography is something that is in high demand, but at the same time, I feel like it fails to captivate the lenses of the, let's call it, consumer masses. Like everyone will be like, oh yeah, that music video fire. Or everyone will just spend like a lot of time on YouTube just watching music video after music video after music video. But I feel like there's not enough, like let's say, diligent respect given to the craft, like specifically. Like if I went to a regular person who wasn't in the music scene and I said, who's your favorite videographer? They'd be like,
yeah, not
just
even,
kind of
yeah,
look through
exactly.
like their Instagram followers,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
well, this guy's kind of good. What's his name? Well, I only know his Instagram name, but that guy.
Unless you're Cole Bennett.
Oh yeah, that guy's universal. That's what I mean. Yeah. So yeah. So it's definitely a necessity to have that event go on for yourselves, just to like even leave a start imprint if it doesn't do everything for you.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. So let's talk about what it is. What are some specific things? Let's say if I were someone who was coming in blindfolded, like, let's say I just know you from social media. And I decided to give you a shot and come into your little interactive art show. Do you have any ideas of how things are going to be set up? Is there going to be a place for like purchasing objects? Like, how do I? You know?
So we do plan on having. We did do like a little bit of a blueprint. Okay. So basically, we have like a little prop table. We're gonna have like a corner set up for our backdrops and for people to take pictures, basically.
Okay, cool.
And then we do plan on using the biggest wall here to display all of our work in a sense of like one side will be my work, one side will be George's work, and then we plan in the middle of having our collaborative work that we work together on.
Nice. And will it be 420 friendly? Is it gonna be like a mostly just like arts?
It would be nice if it was. It depends on the store owner.
I just wanted to know because I like to see all the factors.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's cool. And what time would it be starting at?
5 p.m.
5 p.m. going on to
10. Yeah, 10.
Okay, so it's like a whole block of time.
Yeah, basically.
That's valid. That's valid. I don't know if George or maybe even I don't remember if we've even discussed about it, but we were looking into the idea of making what's it called? Oh my god. Film festival, a film festival at some point in like late summer.
Okay.
Just to like give people like like yourself time to create something to be shown.
Yeah.
We would probably do it outdoors actually because they would need more space and all that. I feel like there's a lot of potential in your craft. It's just people don't actively seek it. So ideas like the ones that you have for Noi
Tai Puk.
Noi Tai Puk. That's. Sure, and that's co-opetition.
Yeah, co-opetition.
Co-opetition put backwards. Yeah. Okay, well, valid. I feel like it's a smart name because it goes on brand with what you do. But at the same time, I feel like if someone doesn't know you,
wouldn't get it.
It's like
they wouldn't get it.
Such a shot in the dark.
Yeah, literally.
It's like new to what? What are you guys doing here? Art show. Okay, I guess it's artsy.
We both literally learned the word like when we looked it up. So it was like we wanted to do what was it? It was a what was the? Do you remember the original word that we wanted to use? It had to do with political parties. It was basically something that didn't even align to us.
Yeah.
But then we found co-opetition, and for those who don't know the definition, it is when two companies that are going against each other, or like competitive companies, decide to work together for a mutual benefit.
Oh, fuck.
So,
damn, I can't think of the term either. If I can, I'll have like maybe Diego put like the word on top.
Right. The word we were talking about.
Fuck, whatever. Well, yeah. Either way, that would have been a charming little name, but at the same time, I like Noite Book.
Yeah.
Word. Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Let's get on the discussion of who Suoicsnocnu is real quick, just for those who might not know what the hell that is, or might know you from someplace, but like they don't even know how to say your name, so they just know you by the logo, because your logo has some recognition, in my opinion.
Thank you.
All right, so give yourself a little bit of an about me, even though we already have done this. Like I want a better one this time.
Got you. So about me, I was born and raised in Hoboken, New Jersey. And then after high school, like after I graduated, that's when I moved to Jersey City in the Heights, where I'm locally known now, I guess. And then after college, where I got my certificate in digital arts and design, I kind of wanted to start doing artwork for people. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, oh, I'm pretty good at this. I kind of caught on to it pretty quickly. Doing like Photoshop and Illustrator and most Adobe software. I decided to start my own little business, and when the name came out, it was like I wanted something that was trippy, basically. I wanted something that
you got that right.
Yeah, I wanted something that was like confusing to people, but also contained like a bit of a deeper meaning behind it. And yeah, that's like how the name came to be about. And then people call me Suo now, believe it or not. It's like it kind of like was a thing that just caught on. Like I didn't even initiate it.
I think it works very well.
Yeah, honestly, I really like that. Well. Now I just introduce myself as Suo. Yeah.
Word. It's really funny because we were just talking about it earlier, but my personal first recollection of, let's say, acknowledging you, not meeting you, acknowledging you, was that bonfire event I worked. And it's funny because I believe I blacked out for that one. And I remember seeing like the after effect of seeing pictures of like a bunch of shit that you were taking and being like, oh wow, like these are really good. And I saw your name and I put two and two together pretty fast that it was unconscious backwards. My first thought was, unconscious? Is he like advertising being an unconscious human being? Like that was my first thing I thought was like, are you saying you're not conscious? I was like, and like my trippy ass, like pretentious self was like, oh, I'm conscious. So I was like, all right, well, your work is good. I don't know you though. I'm glad you came, but I have my eyes on you. And then after that, it was just clear that you do pretty good work and all that.
Thank you.
And yeah, let's bring out the conversation we're having prior to that. This was the first time we met. That's crazy because I actually don't remember meeting you at that point. I was also pretty drunk, but I feel like a lot happened that night, and we had such a brief interaction that it didn't like allow me to
Yeah.
So you were at the dive bar that Chip was performing at. Color Story.
Color Story.
I actually just had him on like a couple episodes ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we were talking about that because that was also the first time I met him. And you mentioned that you took a picture of Chip and I.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Do you know where that went? Because I'd like to see that. I don't remember that picture.
I don't have it on me right now. It might be. It might be like in our DMs, like way up there.
Yeah,
you know
maybe.
What I'm saying? Yeah.
I'll take a look as well. But yeah, no, it's interesting because I almost don't remember that picture. That's crazy. Well, regardless, so I met you that day, which is interesting because I have a very vague memory of that night. I remember like a lot happening. I remember the mosh pitting.
Oh yeah.
And yeah.
I
think when
I definitely remember that.
I think when what really like just took over the whole narrative was just Chip breaking some dude's nose. I spoke about it like on another episode, but basically I saw a dude in the bathroom just like mad as fuck.
Oh my god.
And he was gonna beat the shit out of him and shit. And then basically he later on in the mosh pit I see him and Chip meet and they're like basically squashing it. I was surprised because he sounded so like angry, vengeful. Yeah,
of course.
Okay, I guess this is just the culture.
Yeah, right. Literally.
And it's funny because at the time I don't know if you know this or not, but when we were meeting around that time, I was just beginning to be back into Hudson County because
Oh,
I
okay,
went to
nice.
Rutgers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So most of my like lit life was
Mhm.
out there with like white
Oh, okay,
boys and like
got you, got you,
people from the college that I knew.
got you, got you.
So when I came back out to this area, it was like late 2018, early
Mhm,
2019,
mhm,
and it was like, "Hey guys, y'all
mhm.
don't know me, but I'm
Yeah,
crazy."
yeah.
But like that was all it was. While I felt like a lot of other people already knew each other.
Mhm,
For a while, it was like, "Oh yeah, you know Biddy, right?" And I was like, "Do I know Biddy?" And I was like, "I don't know." Like
yeah,
like it was like
yeah.
that, shit like that. Um, but basically it's very rewarding to be a part of like a circle that like we're
Mhm.
not all like tied up like that, but at the same time it
Yeah,
works.
yeah, yeah.
All right, so
All
now
connected, yeah.
let's get
Mhm.
into videography.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so we discussed that you in the prior episode that you were on, we discussed your humble beginnings. Can you, for anyone who might not have watched that episode, explain to us how it is you started and where you went thereafter?
Mhm. So when I did start the Unconscious brand, I mainly started off doing graphic design work,
Mm-hmm.
and then I kind of got tired of getting all my assets off of like Google Images or like taking it off my phone and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanted to get a camera so I can get my own assets and stuff. Um, from then on, I figured out like manual settings and started taking it a little bit more seriously. And then I started working with like a crew of rappers, and then they were asking me for like videos and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
at that point, I didn't really know how to shoot a music video.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
so it was at that time like an experimentative thing.
Mhm.
So I was like messing around with it and kind of learned that photography, like at least manual photography, is not too far off of like a manual video.
Mhm.
So then I put two and two together and kind of figured it out, and then kind of figured out like the gestures and stuff that you should be doing during videos.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it kind of built off from there. So you know,
Word.
putting two and two together basically.
Awesome. All
Yeah.
right. And so as someone who's come a decent way from that beginning point,
Mhm.
how long has it been for you at this point?
It's been 3 years.
3 years,
Yeah.
valid. So as someone who basically has it's been about that time for me too for events. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
So point is as someone who's been in that regards, what are some things and some problems you have with people who also do videography, photography that are like I guess pet peeves for you, things that
Mhm.
whether it's as someone who's your client or consumer or fellow photographer videographers.
Okay. So I guess like starting off with like fellow photographers, I
Mm-hmm.
guess the biggest issue I have is when if you don't know something, just admit it. You know, like if you don't understand something about your camera, I feel like that should be expressed. You
Okay.
know, because even when I started, if I even had an idea and didn't fully know, I would just admit that, and
Mm-hmm.
ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have people talk to me
You feel like
like,
there's a lot of ego involved with
yeah, oh
that?
my God, it's ridiculous. I've had somebody come up to me and they would tell me, oh, like I would shoot on an auto setting and it would be brighter than the M setting or it'd be darker than the A setting. And it's like, you're supposed to go in those settings and change the settings. Like, it's like
Yeah,
a whole,
they
yeah,
complain of it as like a problem that they have infinitely, and you
yeah,
not as
literally.
something you can go in and adapt or like edit.
Literally, yeah. It's
Okay.
like, basically they would have issues to where they would compare automatic to manual,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing that in manual you're supposed to change things yourself.
Mm.
So they would be like, they would basically generalize it as manual settings being another form of auto.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
it's like they would look at this like, oh, why is it so dark? Let me just go back to auto,
Oh,
rather
okay.
than
It's like
learning how to.
actually fine tune
Exactly,
things.
exactly.
I see. Yeah,
So,
I
yeah.
feel like that's like a universal problem in a lot of different fields.
Mhm.
I think photography and videography are these little fields where it gets so micro
Mhm.
that a lot of people are so quick to overlook them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I feel like it takes someone who has the due diligence to pay attention to those things to really get that grasp.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, so I always respect photography in general because that is not my field.
yeah.
Whenever I hear y'all complain about like ISOs and shit, I'm just like, I'm like, they know what they're doing though, so I'm gonna let them work at that. I am definitely not someone who acts like I know what I'm talking about if I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
It's
very
like,
blatant,
it's not
like,
that hard.
I'm blatant about it. Like if someone like pulls up on me and talks about like I don't know fucking computer science.
Yeah.
Which I have some comp
Yeah.
sci genius
I
friends.
don't.
And like
I
they'll
don't
just
know
they'll
anything.
just start talking about like how Python is so much more difficult than JavaScript, and I'm like, motherfucker, I don't know shit
Yeah, I
about
don't know.
that.
I
Like
don't even know
I
what they're
don't
talking
know
about.
anything about that.
Oh my god.
And they'll try to explain it with apples and oranges versions of computer
Mm.
science. I'm just like, I kind of get it, but
Yeah.
I still can't agree or disagree with you because I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. But yeah,
I was gonna say a pet peeve amongst clientele
yeah,
would be I had this issue that I had to like find a way to like overcome it, like I guess like emotionally, you know,
Mhm.
because I would take it to heart kind
yeah,
of.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I guess it was when I would be shooting a scene,
Mhm.
and I would have the idea planned out, but then I would have somebody like come down my back and like, oh, try this in the middle of me shooting that scene.
So your process.
Yeah, so it's if a scene needs to be changed, um, like angle wise or lighting wise, that can all be done in the next shot. You know,
Oh, I
like we can
understand.
do it again. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind doing it again. But
Right.
as for changing everything mid shot, I can't do that. It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. We're wasting, material. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Um, at least like that's how I see it, because what if I change the angle and then the rest of the shot, if I would have kept it at the angle, would have looked perfect. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So I'd rather just wait for the next shot and then commit to those ideas.
I see.
You know what I'm
All
saying?
right. So as a videographer, let's say someone you knew or someone you didn't even know was looking into trying to be a photographer, videographer. As someone who has had to go through those processes of understanding where things go, what are some advice? What are some tips that you would give to someone to try and get them to a better position? Because I feel like for a lot of people, regardless of what the focus is, the hard part is starting. Like let's say you only have like $5 on you and an idea of what you want to do.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're in a situation where you can't afford the material, like I mean, even this I got blessed with, um it's more of at least finding out what you can do creative wise. You should see what aesthetic it is that you want to go for, what purpose you're trying to reach, like what are you trying to make out of it, and also like what is it that you wanted to give back to you.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, when I started this, from personal experience, I got this camera. I wanted to get my own assets, but since I had the camera, I also wanted to expand and make my own artwork out of it. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So that was something that I could give to the world.
I see.
But if you do have the money for it, I would say you'll get yourself some like a starter camera, like a Nikon D3500 or even a Canon EOS 5i. Definitely worth it. Don't go crazy. Don't buy something like $1,000 worth, especially if you haven't even dabbled in photography before.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people do it. Like somebody was shooting pictures on iPhone and then they bought a $3,000 camera and did not know how to use it at all.
I see.
And
so don't like overly. It's kind of like if like your
Yeah.
first car is like a fucking like a Maserati.
Exactly. Like don't go for the Lamborghini if you just got your driver's license. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Because at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, you want to make it a fun learning experience. You don't want to
As
make it
opposed
harder
to,
on
like,
yourself.
a hard difficulty. Here's a question I have for you because I've always heard this complaint or like rather this debate, and I've heard it from both sides, so I never knew the answer. Someone who has nothing to do with it. What's your take on if someone is trying to do a photo shoot with you, right? And it's, let's say, a beautiful model, and let's say the networking happens where you as a photographer are involved and her as a model are involved, and you have your service payments, your service charges, and she as a model has service charges. who pays who in that regard.
Okay, I see
Is
what
this
you're
mutually
saying.
agreeable? Because
Yeah.
like I've heard that complaint on both sides. I've heard photographers be like, "No, those are my prices set and final."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I've heard women in like the modeling industry be like, "Nah, dude, like I charge for
Yeah,
my
yeah,
body or my image."
I would say it definitely depends on what it is that's being shot.
Okay.
So if the model needs like literally needs a shoot, then
Headshot,
they would
then it's
they would have to pay the photographer. If the photographer needs
for like a
subjects,
project or
yeah,
something.
yeah, you would need the model.
So it's
you
a
would have to
dynamic of
pay.
need that would
Yeah,
okay,
basically.
cool.
Unless there are times when there's like a mutual respect within the
it's, like,
artist, and then it's
equivalent.
so it's like, it just canceled out pricing, and it's just
Mhm.
considered a collaboration at that point.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I've heard this complaint or this problem from both sides,
Mhm.
and I just don't have the I don't have the
Yeah.
position to
Yeah.
argue that.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like that is a conundrum.
Yeah.
Like, it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about your videography
Mhm.
because I personally am a big fan of what you do.
Thank you,
I like your creations. Let's talk about in general what it is that you create.
Mhm.
What have you been up to as of recent? If there's anything on the works.
Recently, I guess I've been just flipping my logos, working on some videos. I've shot a couple videos in Brooklyn. Those are underway. And then I guess right now I'm just kind of trying to make more designs for merchandise. Which
Retail is what
yeah,
matters, you know.
yeah,
That's why I'm working on
exactly.
my illustration books. Because like I realized that it would be much harder for me to say, "Hey, I have like 5 prints. Buy one of them, please," as opposed to saying, "Here's 40 drawings in one book. These 40 drawings cost that much. You
Yeah.
want 40 drawings? It's easier to sell." So yeah, I've been on the same wave in that regard.
Yeah, I want to be able to give people more, I guess, like visuals on like what I think, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And I feel like when I dropped my little design for Isaac, it was like my little lizard design. I feel like that got a lot of positive
Yeah, I
feedback.
liked it. I liked it a lot.
Thank
yeah.
you, thank you.
That was cool.
I really wanted to have like a little mascot, something to put as like a reference to my company, and I felt like chameleons were always my favorite animal.
Mhm.
But it's not necessarily chameleon. It's like 3 lizards put together. It's
Yeah.
a chameleon, it's a iguana, and frilled lizard all put
Okay.
together. So it
Yeah,
has like
that's
the
has the phrase.
the characteristics of all
That's
3 of
cool.
them. Yeah, and then yeah, that was fun to do. I plan on doing some more little drawings and stuff for
Cool.
my name and stuff like that. But video wise, recently I've shot with a couple different people. I'm
Okay.
trying to work more intricately with the group Piss Owl, which
Uh-huh.
is a collective of Piss Mob and Vincent the Owl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You were mentioning you shot something with Vincent the Owl, right?
yeah, I did the music video Shirley.
Word.
Yeah.
Why don't we check that out right now so that we can really like give the audience a little bit of a viewing on that.
Yeah, for sure, sounds
So
good.
let's hook that up on right now, if anything.
Nice with my ABCs, now my CDs on E. FG records went and co-signed me. HI not JK, I ain't gon' hit ya. Element of P, array called liquor, liquor, liquor. Do not feed. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. National Geographic, I'll be the GOAT. Somehow my streaming stats is wild mediocre. Cats wishing I snap my tasting CDs and go. Turn my shit off like a TV remote. Except when I pull up, they see me and choke. You either jock the growth or hit the block and ghost. And be the ones that don't follow and say nothing, that be watching the most. It's cool, damn, the earth big enough, we can both exist. I ain't asking for no assist or to blow a kiss. I ain't asking for rappers to stroke my shit. I know I'm lit, it's Al, but I throw up the piss. Piss out till I'm old and it's ripped. Liquor a mustache like Hogan lip. Float through events, blackouts be like strikes and bowling pins. How I go 0 to 10. But owners like, that was your 3rd strike. Turkey, I forget, then in a month returned like herpes. Dirt life, you hurt me. Inhale till it burn like, till everything coming out of me in reverse like Kirby. You remember last night? Shirley. 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 Do you remember last night? Shirley. remember, do you recall? Throwing an empty bottle like a b-ball in the street, no. Could've played for Utah. My bank statement showing a $500 withdrawal. My life is like a seesaw, up and down, yeehaw. Piecing what happened last night together like a jigsaw. At least it does in White Claw. I FaceTime my meme. You frustrated with this type of rhyme scheme at all? This shit tight too raw. You remember last night briefly? I know I hit crown cause mac and cheese in my goatee. Somehow I made it to my sheets to fall asleep. I need to break this routine. Know what I mean? You remember last night, Shirley? 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 Do 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 you remember last night, Shirley?
Bye 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 bye. Wow wow wow. Yeah.
Challenge right here is this. Do that combo from the store?
This is the music video trailer right here.
You not getting that? Okay.
Alright, awesome. So that was the video that he shot with Vincent DL. I personally haven't met Homie, but I know the people that he's collaborated with on Piss Mob. So how long did it take you to shoot that?
It was one whole day we spent together.
Okay.
Started off at like 3 p.m. ended about like 11 p.m. at night. So you know, we basically just spent the whole day together.
Word. So how just because I'm not familiar with the process of music video shooting and whatnot, how do you go about like making sure that let's say if you charge somebody, is that like a commission base? Is that hourly? Because personally, if I had to work on something for like let's say 3 to 11, like the commission either would have to be so good that I wouldn't care about the 8 hours.
Yeah.
Or the hourly rate would have to be so good that every hour would benefit me. How did that go for you? How do you work on that?
So basically, I do it hourly. From the second I start recording to the second the artist says like we're done.
We're done here. Okay.
But he caught me when I was doing like a special. At the time, it was 3 hours for like 125. I was giving him. Yeah. You know, we obviously like extended it a little more, so you know we worked out the pricing after that. But yeah, he caught me during a sale that I was having, so you know,
cool.
Worked out pretty well. Yeah,
it's awesome, man. All right, another thing I wanted to talk about, and this is just as someone who, you know, like pays attention to what you create, but at the same time I don't let's say I'm not like someone who knows everything you're pushing at the rate that you're pushing it. How many videos do you shoot, like let's say within the span of, let's say maybe a monthly rate, or let's say like a yearly rate? Like how much have you been producing? Because I'll notice it when I stumble upon it and then I'll go watch it, but I don't have like a rate. Like it's not like I know everything you've been doing.
Well, I would say last month I did hit like an all-time high of like 5 music videos done in 1 month. Yeah, that was like a little stressful, but
yeah, I can only assume the editing of all that must have been quite a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, but average like 2 to 3 a month, and that's like not including my personal videos that I shoot.
And how long does the editing process go? I'm assuming it varies, but what's the average of how much? Like if you had to imagine yourself, like let's say a lot of time, a certain amount of time.
On average, if I dedicate like a whole day to it, it would take like 6-7 hours, I would say. Also depending on how intricate the editing is.
Okay.
I would say lately, I've kind of been cutting back on the intricate editing, and I'm more focused on like the cinematic aspect in my most recent videos. I guess that's like the new direction I'm going in when it comes to music videos, because for a while, even in that one video I did with Scoop back in the day.
I love Scoop.
Yeah. I forgot what the song was, but I shot it on VHS, and that video was probably like peak effects for me. So I forgot what the name of the song, but it was like Broke Boy.
Yeah, I play it quite often.
Yeah, that song.
I just hummed it right now.
That one was peak effects. And even the other one, Cocky was like peak effects.
I love
for me.
Cocky.
Yeah, that video blew up very
That song
nicely,
is
which
nice.
I'm really happy about that one. That was a success. But yeah, lately I've been focused more on cinematics and just keeping it simple, really, because I guess like when I was going heavy on the effects, I was like overdoing it, and it was like I was just doing a lot, to a point where you could barely see who the artist was like in the video, So I definitely cut back a lot on effects.
I mean, it was also good because I feel like it showed how much you could do with the footage you went with. Yeah. I never saw it. Like never when I watched did I think like, oh, like this is oversaturation. I more so saw it as like adding flair. And sometimes, like when you, let's say, cook or something, you could add a little too much of something, but I don't think it ruins a dish. It just kind of overpowers it sometimes.
Yeah.
That's how I saw it, which I liked it, but yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, then I kind of stopped caring. When it comes to like my videos, like my personal videos, I don't care how much effects I put. Like especially my personal favorite, the one where I painted my face like half green. Yeah. And I did like a green screen effect on that, and you could see through it. That was like I remember sitting there watching it over and over again, and I'm like, am I doing too much?
Am I doing too much?
Yeah, it was just like, I was like, no, I'm not doing too much. Yeah, and then I posted that. That got a lot of positive feedback as well.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, especially for let's say a community that likes music, likes art, but at the same time doesn't know how to do the things you're doing. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Let's talk into the brand name again. Suoicsnocnu. I have a couple reasons for bringing that one up. One is I like to speak about like what it means to you to call yourself that, and the second one is just to bring into light like what your craft did for you as a person. So you want to elaborate what Suoicsnocnu means for you?
So Suoicsnocnu, for those who didn't catch it before, unconscious backwards, basically is supposed to represent the feeling of being conscious in a world filled with like drama, hate, and just like, in my eyes at least, like just not a happy place. So being unconscious in my representation is kind of like being aware of this situation, but continuing to strive with my artwork.
So without letting everything in the world like affect you. Yeah. So you just unconsciously move forward.
Yeah, basically. Okay. So I actually had a friend of mine who literally said this to me yesterday. And he was like, for someone who's named unconscious, you're pretty conscious.
It's because usually the term for unconscious. I mean, okay, so just to discuss that real quick. It really depends on what context you say that, because if you say that shit like, oh, that motherfucker's mad unconscious, it means like you're not doing the right thing. But if you're talking in terms of like, let's say spirituality or even dreaming, like the unconscious speaks to the conscious. Like that's like the deepest part of the system. So it really depends on where it comes from. But for most people, unconscious tends to mean the opposite of consciousness. Yeah, exactly. This is my first rendition of that. I was like, are they saying they're toxic? I was like, he didn't seem toxic to me. I was like, all right, well. And getting into that, I believe I believe we spoke about this once. I don't remember when because most of the times I see you, I'm drunk as shit. But I remember at one point we spoke about the fact that to you, videography was a way of coping in a social setting like that.
Yeah.
And that like you basically learned how to be more social. Oh, I think it was your birthday. I think it was at your place or something like that. Yeah. And we're talking about how you used photography, videography to teach you how to act in social settings, something like that.
Yeah, honestly, when I would go to like a lot of parties and stuff, I would just have my camera on me because like I don't know, you never know when an opportunity would come to like take pictures of friends or like if anybody wanted a picture and I could like get an Instagram and send them the picture, you know, and like I would say that's definitely how I gained like a small percentage of my following.
Dude, go ahead, please.
It was just like going around just taking pictures of peeps, and then it was like people like followed me on Instagram, like, you know, wanting those pictures back. And, you know, I gave it to them, no hesitation. But yeah, it helped me like find a way to interact with people, to like ask them if they wanted their picture taken, or like how to make them comfortable when taking their picture. Yeah, literally. So it helped out with that aspect, I would say.
You know, honestly, what I really appreciated about you, I think that moment clicked in me, is because I had the same realization as not a photographer. I remember throughout college, I was so busy getting fucked up and having a good time that every year that passed by me, my friend group would say, man, we should have taken more pictures last year. And I'd be like, yeah, we should have. And then we just get fucked up again and just forget. So a lot of my memories of college are either pictures that I don't remember being there that someone just happened to take, or just shitty Instagram / Snapchat memory pictures and videos. So when I remember you told me that, it like clicked in me. Like I heard it and was like, damn, like that's really like the cusp of like the opposite side of what I lived by, which is like that I was always so busy in the moment that there was no recollection or footage of what I was doing. Meanwhile, you were on the opposite side of things, where you were like, I'm going to like live through this process and use photography because pictures are necessary. Yeah. Another fun fact, and I've spoke about this before, there are a lot of videos and pictures of my basement shows, but there's no footage of me and the motherfuckers. Which for a while really, like, I'm not an egocentric person when it comes to shit like that. Like, I don't do events to be the center of attention. Actually, ironically, I'm almost never the center of attention in my events. I'm usually running around trying to figure shit out. So that's why I respect your craft so much, because I see you as someone who is like a necessary input, who is not valued for that, but should be more valued for that.
Thank you.
Alrighty. So let's wrap things up right there and then and there. Right now we're going into the part of the section we call promo time, where we talk about whatever it is you got in the works, and whatever it is that you might see yourself being in the works hereafter. So for those who are listening, what do you got, Suoicsnocnu?
Right now, besides this art show coming up with George, I would say expect more merch, expect more drawings and graphic design work, because I've been heavy on the photo and video, so I'm trying to expand more. Expect more shared assets. I do plan on giving out my Lightroom presets as well as Premiere Pro presets for the public to use free of charge, as my way of giving back to the community again. And that's basically what to expect in the next coming, I would say, months for sure.
Word, valid. Okay, now it's my turn. I mentioned a few things in the last episode with Yvette about upcoming shows with Trattoria Napoli, where they just opened up a new seating area outdoors. We'll have a couple shows there. We'll be getting really soon into the casting on that, probably before this episode's even released. So there we are. Besides that, we're looking into having a Virtual Culture Volume 2 come out, which is the name of the live stream we had last year. We'll probably be shooting that in here. I'll be shooting and promoting into information on that regarding in the future. Besides that, I think we're good to go for the time being. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
April 28th. Noi Tai Puk.
Noi Tai Puk.